Why don't we start off with Alphabet? What are your expectations? A lot of people see Alphabet as actually a kind of a more reasonably priced, if you look to forward PE way to play the AI trade. What are your expectations for the overall earnings report, specifically for its cloud business?
Yeah, no. So as far as Alphabet is concerned, you're right. I mean, that's the value name here in the group, and we do think the setup is pretty nice here for a company. They typically don't provide guidance for the quarter ahead, so they're more of a black box than the others. But overall, you're right. Google Cloud is kind of what we're looking at specifically, and we're looking for high 20s growth. With potential upside, when you think about what the guidance that Microsoft gave last quarter, and you look at the Blackwell launch ramp that we're seeing across the cloud space, we do think there is upside potential to their cloud business as more AI capacity and workloads continue to grow. So we do like the setup there as far as cloud is concerned. And then as far as the digital ad side of their businesses, YouTube and search, we're looking closer to high single-digit growth, pretty much in line with what we're expecting for the broader kind of digital ad market outlook.
All right, we got to talk about Tesla as well. I mean, this is a stock that's had so much dislocation and volatility, seems to trade on headlines, specifically involving the CEO, Elon Musk, of course. What are your expectations, and do you think all the bad news is already priced into this stock? Like, can something come out in this earnings that can move the stock lower, or can it only gain on the earnings call and maybe Elon Musk trying to sell the robotics and robo-taxi story?
Yeah, no, and it's a messy story in many respects, and I personally don't cover it. Our analyst Garrett Nelson covers the auto space, does cover Tesla. He does have a hold recommendation on the name, so it is the one name within the Mag 7 that we are avoiding at this moment in time. Combination of the valuation on the uncertainty tied to some of the tariffs, macro outlook, as well as what you've kind of just highlighted as far as the political landscape is concerned. So we're avoiding the name at this moment. I mean, it's a black box as far as Q2 results are concerned, as far as that name is. As far as we look at that name.
Angelo, speaking of Elon Musk, we're going to go to a news alert very quickly. Please just sit tight. We have a news alert for you. Elon Musk's X is denying French allegations of algorithm manipulation and fraudulent data extraction after authorities launched an investigation. That's according to Reuters. The report also says the social media platform says it has not agreed to demands by French authorities for access to an X algorithm and real-time data on all user posts. So again, Angelo, this is just crossing the wire. I'm not really asking you to comment on that specific detail in that news, but just broader. Do you see this as a potential trend? As the trade tensions between the EU and the U.S., they seem to be ramping up. Do you see potential for, I don't know if it's retaliation, but just more scrutiny of U.S. tech firms?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see more of that along the lines. I mean, we're not surprised by it. I'd say, I think as you kind of get closer to potentially August and what have you, you're going to kind of get the back and forth between the two nations. I think the two regions, and the EU is definitely going to look to at least kind of get a little bit more aggressive on their end. So not necessarily surprised. But that said, I mean, we continue to think at the end of the day, you're going to kind of seeing an easing of pressures here between the two regions.
So, Angelo, I want to ask you, I want to go back to Netflix. We kind of mentioned it a short time ago. Do you believe that might be a read on the rest of tech earnings? I mean, Netflix, once again, beat on the top and bottom line, raised its outlook, and still the stock moved considerably lower the next day.
I mean, listen, I think when you look at broader tech and these names, they've risen more than 40% kind of going into the earnings here over the next couple of weeks. I mean, our view is you're going to need a beat and raise, and a notable beat and raise across the board here for the most part, and maybe outside of an Alphabet where the expectations, the valuations are a lot more reasonable in nature. All eyes are really going to be on what the commentary is going to be as far as AI is concerned. If you can kind of hear some of these companies talk about accelerating growth tied to AI, a company, a guy like Zuckerberg at Meta, costs are going to go up on that side of things. They may have to increase their expense outlook. But if you can kind of if he talks about accelerating growth here over the next 18 to 24 months, I think that's reason where the stock could potentially go higher. So I think it's on a case-by-case basis. But ultimately, yeah, I think you're going to need to see a beat and raise across most of these names.
Angelo, I just want to be clear. Are you talking about the Mag 7 specifically when you say that, or is that just tech more broadly? Because if you look at software is traded kind of in line with the market, but lagging, mega cap tech and the Mag 7. When it comes to software, we were just talking about this earlier. Jeff Sonnenfeld from Yale. With the CEO caucus, a lot of CEOs, they actually believe that there's underinvestment in software. Is software being held to the same bar?
Probably not. I mean, I'd probably be thinking more about the Mag 7 and some of the semi names that are out there that are kind of overheated. I think to your point, maybe names like a Salesforce and Adobe out there that have really been beaten down and that haven't really, caught the bid that some of these other areas of tech have caught. I think those are names that, maybe from a risk reward perspective, the bar is a lot lower there.